What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about 30 different altcoins in this video. 30 of them. Yes, you heard me correctly. I'm not going to tell you what coins we're talking about right now all at once. There is a list in the description below if you're curious as to what coins I'll be talking about in this video. All of these coins are at the request of you, the viewers. So I'll give shout outs along the way. I'll leave the list in the description, and let's get into this, guys. I want to try to make this. We got 30 altcoins. I want to try to keep this as close to an hour as possible. Some coins will demand more time than 1 minute. Some coins will demand less time. So if a chart looks easy enough to read, I'm going to move through it. If it needs a little bit more time, I will give it that time, but we're going to try to breeze through this as quickly as possible. If that sounds good to you, you know what to do. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. And let's get started. All right, so Uniswap is the very first one that we're talking about at the request of Papa Bear. Uniswap and Link. Good request. Link especially. It popped recently. Okay, so let's see. Get rid of that. Okay. So Uniswap overbought in its weekly RSI. I think we see continuation. Daily RSI bounced off its overbought zone. I'd like to see more immediate continuation. If you don't see something really over the next couple days that like really breaks you away from this zone here a little bit more, you have the risk of falling not just back into this zone, but maybe even lower than the lows here. And that's okay. You can still get an overall higher low, you know, something like that. But you want to move up rather immediately. The 4 hour looks good. I want to get something with a little bit of volume on it. Nope, that was not. KuCoin's good, but yeah, okay, I like it. I think Uniswap does continue to move higher. Okay, now that we've established that, where's it going to go? You know, you're at $14.05 right now from a relative high to a relative low. Not a relative ho to a relative lie. Relative high to relative low. $17 to $4.70. Your first extension's at $24.20, and you did basically move right on through that golden retracement zone. So finding a little turbulence down the 886, 786 to be expected, but I think $24 to $37, $38 by the end of this year, if not certainly by the end of this move, which could take, you know, as late as like the end of January. I think you'd be up in this area. So again, if I would expect out of this zone here and lower is end of the year stuff. Here and higher is end of January stuff. We're going into January, if that makes sense. Okay, so that's Uniswap. Let's move on. Link USD, a really good one, man. Popped. It's up 30% this week, and a lot of that came in yesterday at 33.2%. Very, very overbought on the daily RSI. Hit an 86. You could definitely get hotter, but that is the hottest that you've been in quite some time in the RSI, isn't it? Last time was November 2023, and that was, you know, that was basically at these heights here whenever you're at these moves, right? The last time that you were this overbought. So let's just see. Okay, so to put this in comparison, right, if we're looking at this whenever you first got overbought here, like you really got overbought, just like this here, you really got overbought, this was your move. Did it stop here? No. Were you up a lot? Was it an ideal time to buy? Absolutely not. It wasn't an ideal time to buy. Absolutely, you're up a lot. But here you were, kind of right above previous areas of resistance, right? Like right here during this time where you first got overbought, right? And you continued higher over, you know, I mean, from November until March. You continued on for months. So this thing, you know, whether it moves up, whether it moves down, it consolidates for an extended amount of time. Overall, I think you are on a given a path trajectory that will take you month after month after month up, right? I definitely think you're doing that. And if you look here again, the reason I circled this is you were consolidating right when you got overbought, just to these same readings that you're getting now. Right when you got overbought here for the first time, you're consolidating right above this previous area of resistance, and you continued on. Right when you got overbought here, you're consolidating at previous areas of resistance, pretty damn close, and you're probably going to continue on. You don't have to do it immediately. You could consolidate, you know, just like this for like a week or two. Don't expect it to be immediate. I wouldn't personally. Let's look at the 4 hour. Yeah, I would. You could get a little bit more growth immediately. Okay, I'll give it that. You could get a little bit more growth immediately, but I don't think you break 30 cents. You might reach for it, but you don't break it. And if you do, I'd be surprised if it went too much higher. Ultimately, high to low, next week, the week after, sometime by the end of this month, you will be above $30. You'll move all the way up, I think, between $30.35 to $43.50 or higher by the end of this year. Really wouldn't be surprised if you're at like above $40 by the end of this year, yeah. Moving onward to other prices, yeah. So Link's looking really good. The next one is TATSU for Hula Hace? Hula Hake. I don't know. Hula Hace. We're doing this for you, my friend. Okay, so TATSU, like katsu ramen, but TATSU. Like tattoo, but TATSU. Anyways, high to low. Is this the best chart? Is it a meme coin? Let's just see real quick. Hold on. pajamas, man. It's a pajamas, not TATSU, TATSU. Pajamas party. TATSU 9 months ago. I don't like the volume if this is it, right? If that's the actual one. It might be. I think that is the actual one. Let's see. What'd you get in volume here? Yeah, it's not a lot of volume at all. I would stay away from this. If anybody wants to put money in here, it shouldn't be anything that's like close to $1,000. It should be hundreds of dollars, really. It's a low market cap coin, but dude, that amount of volume in a day-to-day, it's not even worth doing TA. I'll give you the TA, but well, actually, hold up now. That volume, it doesn't reflect over here necessarily, does it? But let's see. It's still very, very low volume. I wouldn't feel comfortable putting. What do you get in a day? Yeah, like it's. So I guess it is accurate. It's not even worth charting this because I would say nobody should put their money into this thing personally. If you're putting your money in this, it's at a very high risk for what's not really that compelling to get into. Why are you worth $11.5 million but you can't even muster up $100,000 in volume out of 20? It's not just today, right? It's any day. No, I would. You can barely muster that over a week. I wouldn't put my money in this. But yes, it looks like it wants to move up. It does. It probably moves up to 47 bucks, 34 bucks here soon, probably by the end of the year, and you probably do work higher afterwards. We'll see. But, you know, time will tell. Overall, the chart does look bullish. I just don't like it. I don't like the whatever this is. I wouldn't call it tokenomics, but whatever it is that I'm getting stuck on here. 936K on 11. It's just not, it's actually not that bad, that liquidity, but like, you've got a lot of liquidity, no volume. Like, there's just not, nobody's trading this thing. I don't know. You're taking a risk on something like this, a higher risk than normal, right? Pajamas has a lower market cap than this thing, and it's less risky, right? It's less risky. It has a 11, so this has $11.5 million market cap, TATSU does. If we look at pajamas, right, and then it had 37 or 30-something K in 24-hour volume. Pajamas, right, 5.6 million, almost half, like quite literally half. And then the 24-hour volume is 183K. It's a lot more, dramatically more, right? It's still not a lot of money, which is why you shouldn't put all your money in any kind of decentralized coin, but dramatically more, and for the relative market cap and liquidity pool that we have. Anyways, spent too much time on that. Yeah, I guess it goes up, to be fair. I don't like it. I wouldn't put my money in. I wouldn't put anybody's money into it, but yeah, I guess it moves up. It does look like it wants to move up. If you're holding it, I wouldn't sell it, but you'd probably move the needle too much if you did sell it. But ICP is the next one. That was for Hula Blaze or Hula Haze. ICP for 123. ICP. Yeah, ICP is moving up, $14.27. Beautiful job. I definitely believe ICP will see prices up and around these areas. I'm one of the few people in the crypto markets that does not believe ICP will see new all-time highs this cycle. I really don't. I think you're going to struggle really to get above this $80 to $90 area, this high point here. But I do think you're on your way there, right? I think, and however it looks, right, is your bull cycle like this? You had one move up, your pre-halving high, consolidated, boom, here's your post-halving move, and then you consolidate again, and then going into the end of 2025, you like do something like that. I could see that, right? And then you've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave pattern, kind of keeping your higher lows, like something like that. I don't know, I could see that happening. I definitely could see that happening over the long term. But to keep it up relevant in the short term, weekly RSI getting overbought looks nice, definitely does. Up, what was that, 11% this week? 11.5 already. It's the second day of this week. Beautiful. Up 3% today. Very overbought in the RSI, but not so hot that you have to pull back right now. It is, the stronger you get, the better it is, truthfully, right? The last time that you were this hot in the RSI, we go all the way back here, it was around these times, right? And look at that. You got to this same reading right here. And relativity to this overall move, you were right here. And basically where you are now, in relativity to the whole move that you're coming, which I think it's beginning, you're basically right here, right? You've got more than double what you've already done so far. So I definitely believe that you're going to go higher over the days, over the weeks, over the months, right? Probably, I would think you find some kind of relative high by April. That would be something around like 29 bucks, 46 bucks. By the end of the year, probably closer to 29 bucks. By the end of April, probably closer to 46 bucks or higher. Yeah. Yep. That's my thoughts on ICP. ICUP. You see me, P. Storage. Let's see. 67.87. This is at the request of Fonzilla. We're doing this for you, my friend. Do you want me to do cycle high predictions as well? I like it. I respect it. Storage. One of the bags that I wish I held still. I just consolidated it all into Blue-Zell, but I wish I didn't do that because STORJ really does have a chance to outperform Blue-Zell. But Blue-Zell has a really solid chance to outperform STORJ too, right? They're very similar, I would say. But STORJ, all-time high predictions, I suppose by the end of this cycle, I would expect you're above this high, which at a given target at a minimum, I would expect that you see prices at $8.70 to $24, right? At a minimum. You're not even at 80 cents now, so at a minimum $8 to $8.70. Sorry, that's a big difference. $8 to $8.70. That is a big difference. It's almost a 10% difference. $8.70 to $24, and you might even go higher. There's significance up in this $40 to $54 area, right? And this might actually be the more accurate fib to play off of. Genuinely, I'm not just saying that because it has higher targets. I'm saying that because it encompasses more of this overall consolidation phase you've been in your whole life, and I do think you're going to break it to the upside. I very much do. Right, you've already kind of broken this. Let's see. Does it do that? No. Does it do this one then? Maybe I should take it from the closing prices. No, nothing like that. Okay, hold on. I'm going to delete these lines and put something that's more properly fit. Something like this. Right? Oh, man, I just had it. Come on. So lame. All right, come on. I'm sorry if that was loud. Looked like you're about to break this now, so I would expect as cute of a move as you had recently with STORJ, it's about to get really intense, right? STORJ is about to do, and that makes sense because I think Blue-Zell is about to move up too. And I should have put these two together. Blue-Zell's later down the line. I might have done a separate. No, it's actually right after this. Okay, cool. Blue-Zell, Fonzie, you were thinking of all of us. Thank you. Yeah. You're going to move up really quickly here in a very short amount of time. Okay, so once you break this, because you're breaking above your golden ratio here, you're breaking above this descending trend line here, you look like you're about to break it. Your weekly RSI, looking frisky, looking very frisky actually. So I definitely believe you will see continuation immediately up to about $1.31 to $2 itself. You're at 68 cents now, $1.31 to $2. That's what's coming your way. Likely by the end of this year, if not, maybe in the next 2 weeks, man. The higher you are before Christmas, the higher you'll be after the year ends. So it all depends. But yeah, cycle high for STORJ, I feel comfortable saying $24 to $40. I do. Yeah. Maybe higher. Like genuinely, you could go higher. It just depends on how much traction STORJ gains, right? If this is the gaming cycle that everyone's talking about, STORJ could see some increase. And I know it's not a gaming coin. I don't know if it is actually a gaming coin or not a gaming coin, but it's a storage. It's a database coin, right? It's a data storage coin. Storage, right? That's going to be very useful and implemented in the gaming world because there's just so much memory, so much storage that's needed for these just all kinds of things that go in gaming, man. Anyways, STORJ BLZ. That's what we're going to talk about. Blue-Zell. At the request of Fonzilla as well. Here we go. All right, 16.67 cents. I want you guys to know too, right? Like I'm kind of like Michael Scott. All right, you ever seen that movie, or not that movie, that one episode where Michael Scott in The Office, he's like doing these very prejudiced and racist things to help him remember people's names, right? He's like these things that they're like mnemonic devices, but they're so far off. It's like, how does he even remember their names with all these things? But he does it. I don't do racist prejudice stuff, but I want you guys to know I don't write your names down exactly how you have them down. I make up little names for you or symbols. Okay. For Fonzie, sometimes I write just Fonz. Sometimes I write Fonzu. Sometimes I write Fonzilla. But just an example. I don't know, man. I'm just going off on one here. Anyway, 16.6 cents. Getting distracted. This video is definitely going to be longer than an hour at this rate, man. Looking bullish, looking beautiful. The weekly RSI is at a lot lower of a point than STORJ. Just based off of this, I would think STORJ has a lot more grounds to gain in a shorter amount of time. But Blue-Zell might have more grounds to gain over a longer amount of time, if that makes sense, right? You're not going to be as hot, as overbought, as quickly as STORJ is going to be. So in the short term, STORJ might outperform Blue-Zell by the end of this year, but going into next year, we could see Blue-Zell really take off. I do expect Blue-Zell to do somewhat of like a V-shaped recovery out of here, as is very common. The move up tends to be faster than the move down, right? And this, I guess, isn't the best representation of that. This move up is actually a lot slower than this move down, but I would expect this move up to be faster than the move down we had here. You're at 1670. Next target's 24.7 to 28 cents, somewhere around there. I would expect that by the end of this year / going into next year, by the end of this move, you'll probably be above 77 cents, maybe even $1.41 at that point. And if you're at that point, You're at new all-time highs. No, let's see. Sorry. You're at new all-time highs if you hit $1, which is the secondary target. You really could see this thing be at new all-time highs by the end of January, right? Maybe not by the end of this year, but by the end of January, I could see that happening. And it kind of makes sense, right? It kind of makes sense that this would happen because you know, you look, like I said, with the RSI, you're not as hot, so you might not move up as fast right now, but in a few weeks, in a month or so, maybe a month and a half, you'll be in these hotter readings. You'll probably get some separation, right? You started to get these bigger moves. I guess you had a really big move here that took you into the overbought zone. These were slower moves, but you started moving more gradually, consistently. You had some bigger moves coming up here when you were in the overbought zone. I would expect the pace picks up when we get in the overbought zone, and I would expect to get in the overbought zone probably around the time that we break out of this huge trend that we've been in for Blue Zell's like whole life. So it would make sense you break this trend that the pace would pick up, that the pace would pick up, right? And it makes sense that with the weekly RSI, by the time we get up here, we'll probably be up here in the overbought zone, and that would be a good time for the pace to pick up. We'll probably get that nice breakout move. So yeah. Blue Zell's looking really good. I think by the end of the cycle, what I would expect for Blue Zell, I mean, I don't know if I expect $100, right? That used to be on the target. That literally used to be on the table for a target. It still is to some degree, sure, but I would think more something in the land of like $20.60, and yes, even as high as $79 by the end of the cycle is on the table for Blue Zell. At a minimum, $3.64 to $7.42. It's at 16.7 cents. So even at a minimum, you're pulling more than a 10x, doing a 20x, more than a 20x even actually. So yeah. Pretty great, pretty good potential. It's at a good price. It hasn't taken off too much, and I really do think that in not much time at all, this thing is it's gonna be one of those sleepers that just kind of shocks the world with people, right? Anyways, Blue Zell, VAIOT. I still don't know how to pronounce it, so I'm not going to. Is it VAI? It's just VAI. KuCoin, maybe on crypto. No. I don't like it. KuCoin, MEXC. KuCoin, it is, okay. It's not that I don't like the chart, I just don't like, I mean, I wish there was more data, but I didn't know how much data this thing had. Anyways, we're going to assume that's the all-time high to the all-time low there. Looks like you're getting respect decently. Yeah, I think you move up. I think this next attempt up will take you above the 61869. You're probably going to move up to 94 cents, $1.85. That's where I think you'll be at the end of this move, probably sometime at the end of January. You're at 12.78 right now. 12.78 cents. 94 cents to $1.85 is your target area by the end of this move. That's my thoughts, genuinely. If not, maybe you're not up here by the end of January, but by the end of April, I would say. But you'll be well on your way. I would think by the end of December, by the end of January, you're up above these highs. So you're definitely, this actually could be the winner. Not gonna lie. I like the fib structure. I like the weekly RSI. This one could be the winner, guys. I'm going to write a little star next to it to remember. But yeah, I think you move up. If you move down at all from here, it's going to be very insignificant. You got a lot of upside to go here soon, buddy, okay? I'm going to just circle this one. Oh, by the way, this one's at the request of Mr. Daniel Bandini. We're doing this for you. All right, we're moving on now, though. AITECH USD. Solidus. Let's see. From a low to a high. Down to your 0.5, not a common area, but I say when you find significance on the 0.5, you tend to get significant moves. You know, like right there, you got a little significance. That next week you pumped up 49%, right? Moved down and then moved back up 46% here. Off the 50 a lot. Very, very significant moves coming in. One of which took you above the 382. You're living above there now. You look like you're moving up toward the overbought zone on your RSI, looking like you want to move up in the price as well. I'm perfectly fine with this structure. Oftentimes, actually, you do find support on the 0.5 when, oh, come on now, when there's reasons for it, when there's other significant areas in the chart to find support. So you really, what you did maybe wasn't so much finding support on the 0.5, but right at the previous areas that you had resistance on, right? You back tested what you broke out from. So I definitely believe you're going to move higher. This is really structurally sound maneuvering, right? Patterns, structurally sound structure. I don't know if that's the right way. I think that you will see 87 cents to $1.76. I could see you being up in this range, yeah, by the end of January. I really could, actually, because this thing looks like it likes to move fast. I don't know anything about it. Don't hold me to that, but I could see it happening. This one could be the winner. This one might be the winner. Daniel Bandini throwing out a couple of winners there. Hey. All right. For those of you that are confused as to what I mean by a winner, I just mean that at the end of every video, I announce which coin I think would perform the best in the shortest amount of time. Not always is it right, but sometimes it's right. You know, it's just what chart I think looks the best to make the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time. Not overall, not in the cycle. It's not the winner of the cycle. It's just like from here till the end of this week, till the end of next week, right? Like between now and the end of the month, which one's going to make you the most money in the shortest amount of time? If I see one coin that could make 200% by the end of the month, but there's another coin that can make 40% by the end of the week, but the one that makes 200% by the end of the month only does 10% by the end of the week. The one that does 40% by the end of the week doesn't do 200% by the end of the month. It does less. I'll choose the 40% one because it moves up more in a shorter amount of time. I don't go for the overall move. I'm going for the time frame. That's how we determine the winners here. If you were to put money in right now, which of these would be best for you as far as gains goes within the next week? That's kind of the idea between the winner. But anyways, $10.16 on DOT. We're talking about DOT at the request of Flower Child also coming in with these all-time high requests. If we're looking here. Come on now on a monthly basis. If DOT is to see new all-time highs, we could expect $115 to $170, but hold up now. I don't think that's possible. Not for DOT. No. Why are you doing this to me, CoinGecko? Come on. I was just on you. It's not like I left you. It glitches out so quickly. Yeah, $15.5 billion. I don't think so. No offense, DOT, but probably not going to happen. $15.5. That puts you over 160, $175 billion market cap right there. You'd be lucky. You'd be very lucky to get that price. Much past that, I feel disgusting even talking about it. So, DOT, yeah, 10x is possible. You'd be lucky, but it's possible. I think more likely you're going to probably stop at $40 to $55, or you'll do what we saw a lot of coins do last cycle that consolidated for multiple cycles. They're getting their shit together, and DOT seems like they don't have their shit together, but they did pump nice. They did pump nice out of this relative doubt that they've been receiving. It could go just above its highs, and that's where it starts to fall. Basically a double top, but barely above its highs. We could see something like that. I don't think DOT's going to do that well compared to the rest of the market for the rest of the cycle. Does look like it wants to move up though, and I think it does. I think this is a nice, kind of like an atom and atom. It could be an even atom. Either way, eves and atoms, atoms and atoms, those are very bullish double bottom patterns. So I would expect with this, your measure move technically would be, your measure move would be good all the way up to your 886 at $40. So I definitely think you'll see $40. That's your measure move of this pattern. Will that be, you know, over the next couple months? Probably not, but by the end of 2025, I think you'll get there. Maybe even early, right? A lot of coins that they top off, they don't see new all-time highs, or if they do, they barely see new all-time highs. They do top off early. So, you know, sometime between April and August, I could see this thing being up at these prices. By the end of the year, maybe $19 to $23, end of year, end of January. But it all depends. If by the end of the year, if by the end of January, hell, even if at the end of April, you're up in this area, then I'm wrong. DOT's going to see new all-time highs, but I don't believe it right now. So for now, let's just focus on 19 to $24, and then we'll go from there. Okay, DOT moving up definitely looks like it wants to move up. I have no doubt about it. It looks so bullish. It looks so good. Yeah. I want to look at the 4-hour too. Yeah, looks really good. Looks good for a coin that'll probably disappoint a lot of people. SGB is the next one for Flower Child. Songbird, Flower Child, perfect. SGB here, 1.64 cents. That's what you're at right now. If we're looking at, is this the best chart to use? BitTrue maybe. BitTrue's got older. MEXC has some older stuff as well. We'll use MEXC. We'll use MEXC. High here to low there, getting above your 236, finding support on the 069. You're definitely going to move up to 2.61 cents. You're at 1.64 cents now, and just like you moved above your 236, I would expect you to move above your 382. You probably don't hit your 0.5, and I was going to say that, but as I was saying that, I actually noticed this, right? Literally previous areas of resistance right there, moving up just above your 382 like you did the 236. I could see that happening. So you probably move up. These are probably by the end of the year, by the end of January targets. By the end of this move, targets would be about like 3.7, 3.8 cent area. Certainly above 2.6 cents, but I think you'll be above, probably close to 4 cents, but not quite getting there. And then, of course, progressing on beyond that. As far as all-time highs go, man, I don't know. I really don't know. This one's, it's too new. It's like borderline too new. You got a $250 million market cap. It's a bullish bottom. Volume's coming in. I mean, with that kind of market cap, yeah, you could see $2.47. You could see $5.11. You could. You really could. I'm not even going to say it's unlikely, because you could see this price too. It just depends on how much traction it gains, right? At the moment, I'm not promising these all-time highs, but these are much more likely than DOT, right? To see new all-time highs. You at least have that capacity to get there in your RSI, or in your market cap. Sorry. Yeah. I would say at a minimum, what I would expect for this coin would be anything from like an 11x to a 21x, and then that's like if you don't see new all-time highs, boohoo, you still get decent gains. But if you do see new all-time highs, it's going to be nothing less than like 146x, man. Yeah, so I don't know. A little bit of a roll of the dice with this one, but there's a lot of volume coming in. It looks strong. It looks good. Looks pretty good, I got to say. What did it do last month? Moved up 127%. That's stronger than the average of the market. That's a good-looking double bot. I genuinely could see this thing seeing new all-time highs. What is this thing? I might have to buy some. I'm not. Oh yeah, and it's on Kraken. Yeah, bro, I can buy that. Yeah. The volume, yeah, well, bro. You guys, this is a good one. I keep saying it, but this one, this one might be the winner, actually. I don't know. In the shortest amount of time, though, I still think the other two would be better. But I'm going to circle it. We'll see going forward. I'll just kind of compare them at the end. XCN is the next one. Flower Child. Good call on that one there. It just makes so much sense. The songbird for the Flower Child. XCN. On Coinbase. XCN. At the request of K Hearts. K Hearts are doing this for you. For K Hearts, I write a K that's farting. K farts. No, I'm just kidding. That's not. I might start doing that now. But anyways, high to low. It's not because I think any less of you. I just think it's. I gotta have fun, right? I gotta have some fun, right? Like Fonzilla, I'll write a little like Fonzie with a Godzilla look. I'm not that artistic. I couldn't draw that in my bed. You should see the flower that I draw whenever I'm drawing for Flower Child's name. Because Flower Child, that's a long name to write out. But if I just draw a little stick with the flower petals in a circle, it's really quick. But you wouldn't think it's a flower. Maybe closer to a tree, maybe. But anyways, Onyx coin pulling back to the golden ratio, finding support, moving up to the 382. This looks good, you guys. Looks like we're going to get things going. 80%. That's not crazy bullish compared to what we saw for a lot of coins last month, but that's decent. It's on par. It's on pace. Once we get above the 382, it's very likely that this is the low and that we're moving higher, but I already think that we are. I really already think that we've established this as the low. That kind of volume coming in, that move. Not worried about it at all, so... XCN, we're just waiting on you, man. And Compound. I would bet when XCN moves up, Compound's going to move up. High to low. You probably move up a little bit more. You're at 0.00215. You probably move up to 0.0025 to 0.0029. Find some more established resistance there, either by the end of this week or next week. And then going into the end of the month, you'll probably pull back to these prices and exceed them going into the new year. I would think by the end of January, you're at least up here. Maybe you consolidate, and then going into April, we move up here. I don't know. Something like that could happen. It depends. Let's just see how far this thing wants to run, how fast it wants to run. If I'm wrong, and in like the next 2 weeks we're up here, then the targets all shift up, right? But if I'm right, the next like week or two we're up here and we're consolidating, and then the end of the month we're moving up like this, we'll probably be here by the end of January, and then it'll be sometime in April, May that we can think about these targets up here, right? But we'll see how it all goes. We'll see how it all goes. Again, if Compound rips, I think this thing's going to rip too. And probably harder. Probably. Doesn't mean it will, but probably. FTM is the next one for Crypto Beast. FTM, Phantom. Talking about it on this one here, Crypto, yeah. $1.18 for Phantom. From a high to a low. Up in that golden ratio area, your second attempt here. I absolutely believe that you're going to go through and find some resistance up at this 786, 886 area. So you're at $1.18, moving up to $1.81, 246, somewhere in that zone. Probably by the end of this move, by the end of the year, by the end of the month, stuff like that, right? You could be higher. It's not common that you go above the 886, but I could see that happening. I could see you reaching for these highs up around 350. So $1.81, 246 is the more refined answer, but with the exception to moving up as high as 350. I don't think you move above 350. I think those targets above that price will come in probably after January, after we move down a little bit in January, at the end of January and some in February, then we start to slowly move up toward the end of February, moving up in March, and then April will probably have a more momentary top off is my thoughts. But we'll see. That can change, but that's just the general idea right now. If not April, maybe sometime in May. But I would think late April, early May, personally. But it could be late May. I don't know. Phantom, it looks like it wants to move up. All that to say, right? Here's your immediate targets that you're moving up to. By the end of the year, by the end of the month, stuff like that, right? Anything higher is great. It's bullish. But I just have a hard time seeing you move up that much. I think that you could be at I think you will be at 250, if not by the end of the year, by the end of this move, or higher. I really do. But that's Phantom. TRAC for Dirty Beard. Origin Trail. I was like, why does TRAC sound familiar? Origin Trail. This was one that was supposed to, this was like gonna change the world, man. Ivan on Tech was super bullish on this. There were a few people back in the day. They don't really exist anymore, but they were bullish on this. Carl from the Moon was bullish on this. Still around, still kicking, huh? I wouldn't have thought. I don't hear anybody talk about this, but man, you actually did. You did kind of well in your last bull cycle, didn't you? We look at it here. I mean, bro, dude, what the hell? That's almost a 1,000x. That's great. That's great. Wow. And you had a dramatically higher low. Like, look at the comparison of your bear markets, bro. Look at how long this one was and drawn out. 99.1% to the, you guys, 99%. You don't understand how crazy that is, right? Like, here's 98%. All the way up here. Here's 98%. There's 99.1%. Okay, if I take from that 98% level, I go down to that 99.1%, basically just a percent lower. That's a 55% difference. You guys, 99%, that's no joke. That's a huge dip. Okay. High to low here. 96%. It seems super comparable, but no. Right? 96% again, just for comparison's sake. That's all the way up here, man. That's like half of this move overall, right? You basically did half that move. And you move sideways. You're actually very healthy coming. Dude, this looks, wow. I feel robbed. Why hasn't anybody been asking me about TRAC? Why have none of you put this on my radar? Why did you allow me to, this is all your, no, it's not your fault. I'm just kidding. $385 million. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I could see this thing doing a 30x or more this cycle from here. I could. You're going to move up fast, ferocious, vivacious, 95%. Yeah, you probably move up to $1.92, $2.66. You're at 95 cents now-ish. Going into the new year, you'll probably, I mean, like not in January, but after January, you'll probably move up to these $9 or higher prices. Yeah. I mean, by the end of the cycle, dude, you could be tens of billions of dollars, right? Like you really could be, right? If you're at 385 million right now, a 10x puts you at 3 billion, like almost 4 billion. That's about 4 billion right there. At about what is that? 950. So $19 is 8 billion. $38 is 16 billion. Is that right? Like, dude, you could see this thing go a lot. This thing could 100x from here. Yeah, it could more than 100x from here. I wouldn't be surprised if it went all the way up to the 2270. That's nuts. Yeah, something like this. I love coins like this. I love old forgotten coins that are actually doing well. Beyond all the goo goo gaga stuff that I'm going over on this, yeah, the chart looks good. Bearish divergence. Yes, you got some bearish divergence. I don't think you pull back too much lower. You could. At the worst, you pull back down to about 75 cents, 76 cents. But at the best, you hold here and start moving up immediately, or maybe you hold 86 cents and start moving up. But I don't think you move down too much lower, if at all. Let's focus on that next target area. Probably being somewhere around $1.92 to $2.66 by the end of this move, which is probably going to be by the end of January. TRAC. STX. Stacks at the request of Dirty Beard. Yeah, Origin TRAC might not get the win for the one that's going to move up the most in the shortest amount of time, but out of all the coins we've looked at so far, that's the one that I would want to put my money in the most. That's the one. That's the chart that caught my attention the most. People looking for another coin to put their money into, a little diversification. TRAC. TRAC looks good. Do your research. Do your research. Do your research. Don't just put things, don't put money, don't put your life savings in things because you hear someone say that it's a good coin, and then you put all your money in there and then the coin goes to zero, and you're like, that guy was stupid. No, you're stupid because you put all your money into something you put your life savings in something without even looking it up. Look it up. Do your own research. My opinion doesn't matter. It can open a door to a provocative thought of your own opinion, but do your research. Make sure that it's a coin that you can get behind, that you appreciate or can believe in, because then when unfamiliar things happen, whenever you're expecting it to go up and it goes down, you won't panic sell, right? You're always better investing in things that you can understand or believe in, right? Warren Buffett missed out on Amazon, Google, Facebook, right? Microsoft, Netflix. He missed out on all these huge stocks, but he's one of the most legendary investors of all time, and that's because he stuck with things he understood. You might not hit every winner. You're not going to hit all the grand slams that way, but you will avoid a lot of losers that way, right? If you can understand things. If you're just putting your money in things you don't understand, you're kind of gambling, right? So understand it. Understand it. Saks, $2.43. Let's see. I don't know. We'll use Binance. Okay. Really bullish chart. Wow. One of the few coins to see new all-time highs around the same time Bitcoin did. 3.6 billion. Your potential is probably running out, but this is your second bull market. You could see above $100 billion readings on your market cap. I definitely believe you could. So, and looking at the chart, I mean, dude, it's just such bullish structure. There's no doubt in my mind that you're going to see this price, right? I don't even have to look at the market cap, and I'd say there's no doubt in my mind that you're going to go to $19.41. Potentially by the end of the year. If not by the end of the year, maybe this is more like an end of April kind of thing, or even past that. But absolutely, you're going to go there. So that's a 7.7x. 7.7 on 3. That's really not that much. I think. I mean, that is a lot, but I think you could go higher for the end of the cycle, right? Maybe even higher than that, bro. Like, dude, this coin, I genuinely, as crazy as it sounds, Stacks could be worth 100. It's worth 243 right now, 244. It could be worth 123. I would say, I'm gonna go even crazier. It could be worth 123 to $330 by the end of this cycle. Yeah. I don't think it'll be worth 329. I think it'll be probably worth closer to something like this, but I wouldn't be surprised if it did go above 123. Hard to say. Hard to say, but with the chart, with how it's been performing so far, with how much, I mean, yeah, dude, you look good. A 100x would give you a $366 billion market cap. So maybe not 100x. Maybe you can't see 100x, right? Oh, but that's not 100x. I don't know why. I thought that was 100x. Okay, yeah. Yeah, there you go. You can see half that. Yeah, you can see, yeah, 120. Oh, but that's there. Okay, so you probably, yeah. You probably don't see 329. I take it back. But something between, yeah, like 170, 160, and 123. I could see that happening. If not, certainly at a minimum, $19.40 to $41 by the end of the cycle, right? It's looking good. But overall, I would expect this thing rips over the coming month. It didn't move up that much last month, right? A lot of coins did show their strength, so that's a little concerning, I suppose. But it's not that concerning, right? We still have a whole alt season to go. Let's see how you perform. But I definitely think right now you're in the midst of a move. You're at 243. You're in the midst of a move that'll take you to 546, 854 probably by the end of this move, which will be by the end of January. That's my thoughts. Stacks looking ferocious. DIA at the request of JS14. DIA on Coinbase here. Yeah, I think we're definitely not hitting an hour, but we're getting close, guys. We're getting close. I went through a good bit of them already. DIA. Okay, on Coinbase, maybe. On crypto, better. Okay, high to low, 382 support, up to your 618 you go. $1.62 to $2.07. You're at 96 right now. $1.62 to $2.07. That's where you're gonna go by the end of the year, by the end of the month. Yes, that's what I expect. Absolutely, that's what I expect. Yep, moving up. And then from there, maybe by the end of April, you're up at this 397, 284 area. I definitely could see you seeing new all-time highs by the end of the cycle. Looking good. That one didn't need as much. That one definitely didn't need as much. Looks like it wants to move up from here. Very confident that it's going to move up from here. Any downside, if at all, is going to be very insignificant. SD at the same request of the same person. Stater, 99.8 cents right now. Monthly basis last month moved up 217%. That is the biggest month I think that we've seen in this whole video for last month. So that's saying something, right? Not that that's the only metric that you should use, right? If you look at the last month and you see the coins that pump the hardest and the coins that pump the smallest, don't go in thinking that, okay, those are the coins that are going to perform the best throughout the rest of the cycle, and these are the coins that are going to perform the worst. Maybe as a rule of thumb, but it's not quite that simple. There's probably plenty of coins that underperformed last month in comparison to this, or even compared to the average coin, and they will still outperform the average coin throughout the rest of the market, if that makes sense. But this is fierce. Absolutely, it's fierce. Strongest readings you've ever seen on your monthly RSI, and it's just getting started. Weekly readings, getting some strong readings as well. No way. No, you didn't. Not your strongest readings, but pretty close. Pretty close to your strongest readings you've ever seen. Finding resistance here. I like it. I think it's fine. Yeah, I think it's fine. I think you're going to continue to move up. High there to low. Yeah, we'll see at $2.30 to $3. You're at 99 cents now. $2.30 to $3 here, probably by the end of the year, end of this month. Oop, if not by the end of this month, by the end of January. But that's, yeah, you look like you want to move up pretty quickly. I wouldn't even be surprised if you surpass that, because you're consolidating above the 382. Like, I would normally expect this, but I think you could see your 786. You could move all the way up to 426. Just be aware of that. It could be a lot bigger of a move than I'm giving it credit for. SD looking good though. Swift coin for Flight Medic. Swift coin, they need to change their ticker. It needs to be like SC, not Swift C, or just Swift. It's too long. How many tickers are 5? Like, it stands out to a certain degree, but it's annoying. I don't like it. Found support exactly where we were thinking you were going to find support, right? Just like beautiful. Continue to find support there. Moving up right now. A lot of volume coming in. You're finding resistance. Of course you are at this area that you've been finding resistance, right? This trend line here. So you tip that right there. Perfect. This is what they call a descending broadening wedge, right? And generally you do get, let's see if we got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, you generally do get 5. This, I would assume it is going to break out to the upside. I don't know if there's a way to measure this or not. I mean, there probably is, but I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to use my fibs from a high to a low. Testing that 61869. Right, got up in there, pulling back to the 0.5. Yeah, you're probably going to run up. You're at $0.0046 right now. You're going to go up to $0.0067 to $0.0076 in probably a very short amount of time. I think that you'll be at 1.2 cents to 2 cents by the end of this move, by the end of January. Yeah, I think you'll be at new all-time highs, or at least relative to Coinbase, by the end of this year. You look frisky, Swift coin. You look very swifty. And make no mistake, right? I don't think this is going to be like this was. I don't think it's going to be like this was. I think this is going to be different. It's going to be a little bit different. It might take a couple weeks. You might consolidate more still in this area, but then toward the end of the year, going into next year, yeah, you'll start making your run up here. Yes, Swift coin. All the Swifties out there, man, and these are the cool Swifties. Not the no offense to the Taylor Swifties out there, but the real Swifties, you guys are about to be rewarded for your long-awaited trials and tribulations that you've gone through. You'll be rewarded with the long-awaited gains that you've been awaiting. I don't know, man. It's the end of the day. That wasn't worded properly, but whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. If you know what I'm trying to say, that's all that matters, right? It doesn't have to be perfect. That's the whole point of words in the first place, right? It's just to get you to know what I'm saying. $1.23. That's your low. That 123 number coming in everywhere. 3.66 cents right here. Yeah, buddy, you look great. Nice flare. I get why you requested it so much, Nefarious Llama, and not just you. There are other people too requesting it. Yeah, but this thing looks great. This looks like it wants to rip for sure. Looking at the weekly RSI, very overbought. Getting there, right? You can definitely go higher, right? The last time that you were at this area in the RSI, it was over here. Okay, it was like literally this week. You continue to hold from the top of that week. You continue to hold 64% higher. So, and that took like 5 weeks. So by the end of this year, I think you'll actually see a stronger move than that, more than 65%. You'll probably be up around these highs, if not above these highs. I think by the end of January, you really do stand a chance of being up at these areas. I really do think that. Yeah, buddy, I think so. Let's say end of January, 8.48 cents to 10.5 cents. Yeah, looks really good. And it probably does continue on past that. You know, you might consolidate a little bit, but we'll see. And you could go higher. You definitely could go higher. It's possible. I would say it's more possible that you go higher than the 1272 by the end of January than you are lower than it by the end of January. But we'll see. Time will tell. It looks good. Looks bullish. Let's move on. Flare. Rune. No, not Rune. I'm sorry. We're not talking about Rune in this one. STRDY at the request of Element. It's a DEX coin. STRDY, 337K, $23.8 million market cap. Yeah, it's still not ideal. Maybe a little bit more worth talking about, maybe, but yeah, the chart looks fine. Right, new all-time highs. You're getting that volume in. Cool. I don't know anything about this coin. High to low. Always do your own research, right? The chart looks really good. Yeah, man, you're at 321. I have no doubts you're going to go to 566, 1532 here by the end of the year. Yeah. Yeah, you look great. You're moving up here right now, right? Like it's going to be like that. Up in there. Yeah, moving up. STRDY. Looks good. Looks good. ACH for Fonzie. It's another one. I just wrote Fawn and then I wrote Z. It's Fawns, but let's see. I'm giving away all my secrets. No, they're not. They're not really secrets, are they? 3.23 cents here. Monthly RSI looks killer. Price action, you're consolidating, right? You've got an ascending triangle going on right now. It has that look, even if it technically, hold on. Oof, I gotta sneeze. Oh, I want to sneeze. It won't happen. I really wanted to see. I was ready to mute the mic, but oh, I'm not one of those people that ignores sneezes, man. I embrace them, but that one just escaped me. You look like you're about to hit escape velocity. You're at 3.23 cents. By the end of the year, yes, you'll probably be back up at these highs. Then I think going into the month of January, you'll probably press higher. Don't be surprised if you stop at like 6.6 cents. You're at 3.2 cents. Don't be surprised if you stop there. You could, you know, and then continue moving up later. But it's just hard to say. You know, you could easily do something like this by the end of the year. This could be the end of the move kind of move that you do. You could easily do something like this by the end of this move. You know, it's hard to say. He's already interacted with this twice. I'm going to say it. Overall, yes, I do think you're moving up here. But will it be by the end of April or be by the end of January? That's my question. We'll probably know by the end of December. If by the end of December, you're only here in this area, you're not even above these highs, okay, you probably don't see this area by the end of January. It's probably by the end of April. If by the end of December, you're above these highs, like really anything from like, I would say, like 55 cents or higher, then yeah, you stand a good chance of going to, sorry, I said 55 cents, I meant 5.5 cents. You stand a good chance of going to 9 to 12 cents, yeah. I want to say this. I want to say that's what you're going to do. Because you've already found resistance at the 618 twice. Normally, you do just cut right through. In situations like this and go right up to the 786, 886, it'd be weird if you found resistance here again. But you could. You could find resistance here, consolidate for January, February, and then pull up. I don't know. ACH looks like it wants to move up. 3.2 cents, at least going up to 5.26 cents, 6.6 cents, if not dramatically higher. ACH looking good. What else are we doing? SUKU for Muhammad Ahmed. SUKU. Is it SUKU? Or is it SUKU? SUKU, okay. SUKU. Why do I feel like this is familiar? Why do I feel like I've heard this before? It's on Coinbase. I don't know. I don't think I have. It just feels familiar, but I don't think it is. High to low. Okay, not the fake out low, but the actual low of this move. Yeah, you're probably moving up to your 618, 6.9. You're at 8.7 cents. We'll see you at 36 to 47 cents. If not by the end of January, then by the end of April. Depends on how fast you get things moving. I would say you're probably closer to like 23 cents to 40 cents by the end of the year. And then 40 cents to 50 cents by the end of April is my thoughts. But we'll see. And you'll probably continue to progress higher, probably, but that's my thoughts on SUKU. Let's talk about XLM. Oh, no, we're not talking about XLM. I'm sorry. Sorry, Muhammad, we're going to talk about that one in its own video. XTZ, though. XTZ here. Let's see. Tezos. Moved up a good 165 last month. Beautiful, beautiful move, yeah. Nice breakout move. You're probably going to see an overall 61869 retracement of this move here from a high to a low. We'll call it $3.20 to $3.90. You're at $1.67. That's where you're going by the end of the year, by the end of this move. Maybe it's by the end of January. XTZ, easy, real easy. Don't need to see anything else on it. Very confident in that. TRB is the next one for Party Boy. TRB teller. Looking bullish, yeah. Consolidating at previous all-time high areas. I love it. Love to see it. Low to high. I mean, would this be a better low? Technically, I guess, maybe. 618, you show more respect there, yeah. High to low here. Why are you using this low, C-Zar? Why did you just use this low for this fib? Why are you using that low for that fib? It's because they're different fibs. They're different moves, right? Would you say this was the low of this move here? I would say this is the low, right? It's the same reason why I wouldn't use this low here. That's not the low of this move down. That's the low of the sideways move, right? This is the, I guess, well, obviously that one's higher low too. But still, even if this was slightly lower, if the rolls were reversed, I wouldn't take that one. I don't take the fake out lows. I don't know if anybody's questioning that. Moving up, buddy. What? What? But hold on. TRB. 212 million, huh? I'm just reading the charts, guys. Don't hate me, but you're at 81 bucks. I think you're moving up to 1,300 bucks. Probably by April. Probably by April. So aim for lower targets by January. 412 to 700 by January. 1,300 by April. Yeah, or higher. Party Boy hitting it with the Grand Slam here, man. That was a good one. And I don't got to stop there, man. This thing looks ferocious. I've been using that word a lot, but I mean it, man. This thing looks like it wants to go. Right? This is one of those coins that last month it only moved up 34%. It underperformed. I still think it's going to overperform from here on out over the next like 2 months. I bet it overperforms most of the market. I bet it does. Time will tell. And again, that's not me saying that every coin that underperformed last month, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that there's been a lot of coins in this video that I've said if they overperformed compared to the market last cycle, or if they've overperformed the rest of the market compared to last month, I've been saying for a lot of those coins that they look good and that they're promising. That's normally a good thing, right? But I'm backtracking a little bit and saying that just because you underperformed last month compared to the average of the market doesn't mean you're going to underperform for the rest of the cycle. It's not that simple. So don't take that idea and run with it. If that's, I'm just saying that as like a tale of precaution. I don't want any noobs getting wrecked. You guys get wrecked on your own thoughts. You don't need mine to help you. Raven coin moving up. Absolutely it is. We'll see you at 7 cents. You're at 3 cents now, 7 cents by the end of January, if not by the end of this year. That's where I think Raven's going. I don't need anything to see that. It's very obvious. It should be, right? Because every time you've been down here, where have you gone? I wonder. You know what I mean? Oh, are you going to go past that? Maybe, but not by the end of January. So boom. What do you got to look forward to? Look for these high prices, right? Probably between 6 cents and 8 cents. Likely right in the middle, right? Something like that, right? Something that's just above this high, but just below this high or right near it. I would bet that that's probably where you go. Raven coin, looking good, looking frisky, that's for sure. At the request of Mr. Party Boy as well. XTZ, oh no, we already talked about XTZ. I'm sorry, Jupiter, Jupe. This is a good one. This is a good one. We don't talk about it enough. At the request of Unleavened Baptist here. Unleavened, hitting us with a good request. Yeah, this one just came out this year, right? Or last year, I guess, technically. Jupiter, what do we got the market cap wise, right? Jupiter's one of those coins that's like, you make more money if you're contributing to like the ecosystem than if you're speculating, right? 1.6. I don't know. Maybe I don't know a lot about Jupiter. Scratch that. I might have just been talking out of my ass there. High to low. Moving up, buddy. $1.51 to $1.70. You're at $1.20 now. By the end of the year, yes, certainly, and by the end of January, you could move higher. But I think Jupiter overall 260 to 380. Those are targets that you have to look forward to in the future. I don't know when. It could be by the end of January that you're up in this area. It could be by the end of April. It could be later. You know, hard to say. But yeah, you look like you want to move up. Jupiter's looking good. Like the weekly RSI. I like the daily RSI too. Wow, yeah, that daily looks good. Yeah, man. You're about to. I think you're about to see some explosive behavior, dude. Yeah, you're about to rip to your all-time highs, and you really probably do surpass them. I don't know if by the end of January you're at new all-time highs, but we'll see. We'll see. If you are, cool. Nothing wrong with that. HBAR at the request of VAC. Oh my goodness, guys. What happened here? What the hell happened here? Oh my goodness. From a low to the price you're at now in the course of, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. Up 9x. You guys, HBAR's on one. Good job. Good job, all you HBARbers. Man, I wouldn't have thought that you continued going that high. I really would have thought that you found resistance at the 61869, but you already tested it. So here you are, 786, 886. Good job. You probably don't go much farther from here, right? So if you're feeling the FOMO, stop. Just stop it. You're probably going to pull back to about, what is that, 19 cents to 24 cents. You'll probably pull back there. It's a pretty significant pullback, I know, but you probably do pull back there. Watch, guys. HBAR is probably going to underperform the rest of this month, right? Everybody's probably hyped on it and jacked on it, and they think that this is the next big thing and it's going to make them money. That was true 5 weeks ago. Now, it's going to wreck you if you buy it up here. Don't do it. It's very rare. They just tear through your 618 like this and go right up to your 786, 886 zone. Less rare when you have a previous attempt, of course. It's even more rare to just make a move like this and go all the way up to your extension. It happens. It happens. And congratulations if I'm wrong to all the HBAR people. That'd be phenomenal, but very, very rare. So I'm very confident you pull back from here, an area you found resistance before, an area that you found resistance before, an area that you started at even, very significant level in the charts, very significant level in the fibs at the 886 there. I believe that you'll pull back. Babe, she's crying. I believe it'll pull back to the 618. And oh, I normally mute that. Now you guys know how I talk to my wife whenever I'm trying to have her go quiet my baby girl down. I normally mute it, but at least you know I'm not like, hey, B word, get off your lazy ass and get in there. Like I'm just some friendly guy on YouTube, and then I'm just like I mute the mic, and then it's like. Okay, all right. I'm having too much fun for how not on track we are. HBAR, yeah, I bet it moves down, man. 19 cents to 24 cents. Don't buy it here. No, you are overbought on your weekly. You're in the 90s, and don't do that. No. All right. Last time, right over here, very first time they got a taste, you were just under the 90. Okay, from a high to a low right there. It was just a 1 week period, 39% drop. I'm not saying HBAR is going to go down here and it's going to take a year to do. It could take a week. We've seen it happen before, right? But I would think maybe the rest of this month of December it consolidates, and then going into the beginning of next year it starts to move up again, maybe. But you had a pretty big pullback. It doesn't, like, you look at this, right? You look at this back here, this overbought, so I'm pretty high in the RSI. It doesn't look like it got phased at all, but that was a 40% pullback right there, right? Here, you're getting into the 90s. 1 week's time again from a high to a low, you pull back 44%. You know what I mean? So very hot in the RSI. Don't buy here. Bearish divergence on the RSI. Would call for, I don't think, I actually don't, I take it back. I don't think that's bearish divergence. I get it, yes, lower highs. I don't think it's bearish divergence though. And really hot on your 4 hour. Yeah, but you're gonna correct. You're gonna correct. All right, that's all I got for HBAR. Focused on that way too long. Terra for Bonham. Taraxa. You said MEXC, I think, has the most history, but if you use crypto, right, MEXC, it's the same thing. MEXC, that's March 2021. Crypto, March 2021. It's just a different kind of chart, but it's the same thing. I like using the crypto, and I feel like it's more accurate most of the time, not always. That's for you to discern as a analyst, of course, but high to low. Beautiful move, moving up to 2.6 cents to 4.9 cents, 4.8 cents. Sorry, 4.3 cents, my bad. 2.6 to 4.3 cents. You're at 1.1 now. These are end of the year, end of the move targets, and you absolutely could rip past them. You could. Because this move here gives me hope that you can see a somewhat of a replica. maybe move all the way up to 7 cents by the end of January. It's hard to say, but you look pretty good. This one could be a winner. Terra could be a winner, not going to lie. At the request of Bonham. Bonham, we're doing that for you, my friend. Vet is the next one, Unleavened Baptist. Yeah, it looks good. It looks like it wants to move up, man. Got nothing else to say. Very bullish. Very, very, very bullish, yes. Yes, you have to golden ratio now, yes. You could pull back. This thing's anything but stable, right? It's definitely volatile. Don't be surprised. You're at 1.1 cents. You could pull back all the way down to $0.0066. You could, and still everything that I said was true, right? I'm just saying that as a tale of precaution. That doesn't mean wait for the low. It might not come. I think it's probably riskier to not buy this thing than it is to wait on this, than to buy here and then get a pullback like that. I think it's riskier to not buy this coin than it is to buy it and then have that pullback, because that pullback is temporary, right? But if you miss it here, you're going to be buying it up here. You've got less overall gains to go from, and then it's just, yeah, you don't need that. So. Looks good. Looks really good. Terra, we've always liked Terra, and I'm glad to see it doing well right now. I think it's going to continue to do well. So let's see here. Where are we at there? There we go. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. Vet for the Unleavened Baptist. V-Chain. Yeah, I think V-Chain is going to do really well this cycle, you guys. This is the legacy coin cycle. This is the dinosaur coin cycle, right? I love how everyone at first, whenever XLM was pumping, and everyone called it a dinosaur coin. Mana was pumping, everyone called it a dinosaur coin. EOS was pumping, everyone called it a dinosaur coin. ADA's pumping, calls it a dinosaur coin. That was the first week or two. But now you feel the shift, right? This is something we've been expecting this whole cycle. If you've been watching my channel, we've been expecting that these legacy coins, these OG coins, would be the top performers of the cycle, that this would be like a legacy OG coin market. That's right. There's been a different theme to every crypto market, right? The very first one was the Bitcoin, the internet, well, not the Internet of Things. The Internet of Things rally was like 2017 during the very first like real crazy altcoin craze, 2017, 2018. But that was that then, right? 2019, 2020, 2021, it was DeFi summer. It was meme coins. We had Dogecoin, right? We had metaverse tokens, all these things, right? Those were the NFTs. Those were the personality types of the bull market. I've been saying for a long time, predicting it for a long time here. You guys know it too, and I know a lot of you guys agree with it too, that the legacy coins, the OG coins, are the ones that are going to have a rally. It's going to be a narrative. And the thing is, it's so cool to watch it. It's so cool to watch how this narrative is actually coming around. I got distracted because everyone was calling them dinosaur coins at first, but now that it's been a couple weeks, people have had time to marinate, and you're seeing all these quote unquote dinosaur coins moving up and actually performing and shaking off the cobwebs. People are humbled. They're like, oh, wait a second, hold on. This has been around longer. I forgot one of those very fundamental things of investing in anything, the fact that time is an ultimate test. You can have all your promises, you can have all the hype, all that, but time is the ultimate test. And the only coins that have that ultimate test in this market, in this cycle where we have institutional players involved who want to mitigate their security risks, right? They don't want to have that much risk. They want to be as secure and safe as they can. Are they going to put money in coins that just came out this year or last year or the year before? Are they going to invest in coins that have been around for multiple cycles, right? It makes sense. And I think everybody else is starting to make sense of it too. So it's really cool to see people going from calling them dinosaur coins, dead coins, zombie coins, which I also said was going to happen. And then now they're all accepting it. Now people are calling them legacy coins. You go on X.com, you look up anybody's YouTube videos recently, they talk about these legacy coins doing like really, really well. People who were shitting on them 2 weeks ago, now they're like, wait, these are the big things to get into. I got all distracted because V-Chain's one of these coins, guys. It's one of these coins. It's one of those coins that came out in 2018, 2017 times, and it was forgotten about. But it's done nothing to be forgotten about over, right? From a low to a high, you saw 176x last cycle. Beautiful. This cycle, you could see more growth overall. V-Chain it's been building, man. It's got a lot. It's got that community behind it, and it's got people who believe in it, who've been developing it. You got $5.4 billion in market cap valuation now. By the end of this cycle, man, you could be, I think you could be up here, yeah. $1.60 or more. You really could be. High to low. Look at that. Beautiful. The 1618. It's like I do this for a living, you guys. But right now, I think that you are going to move up a little bit less than that, right? At least for the end of this month and stuff. I would think that by the end of this month, you're probably up at like 8.5 cents to 10.5 cents. You're at 6.7 cents now. That's probably where you'll be by the end of the month, closing out the month. You might reach, going into next month, you might reach up for this area, but I wouldn't think you're above 19 cents by the end of January. Any prices that are above 19 cents will probably be for later in 2025, like going into April and stuff like that, right? But yeah, you look like you're on a mission to 60 cents. Like genuinely, I think you're on a mission to $1.70 or more. Yeah, you could see 3.75 by the end of this. You really could. You're at $6.7 cents now. Yeah, maybe not 100x in this cycle, but VeChain's got partners, guys, that are big players in the world, actually, right? Like they've actually got, and not everybody is aware of that, but VeChain, they do their marketing well, I think, and maybe it doesn't reach every single audience, every member of the audience, but I think those are one of those coins, man, that's slept on. And I think people laughed at first, like, haha, who's buying these coins? They came up with all their stupid reasons. They're like, oh, this is from people who were left over from the last bull cycle. They think these coins are still relevant, so they're buying, right? Just all the dumbest reasons for why these coins popped, and it's very obvious why it popped. The structure's bullish. It's bullish as hell. The overall structure's bullish. It's bullish as hell. Of course it's going to see new all-time highs this cycle. I don't know where I was going with that. Ape. Yeah, I think Ape's going to do well too. I think Ape will see new all-time highs by the end of the cycle. It's at $1.67 now. Let's see. Let me. I don't know all the tokenomics of Ape, so let me, before I eat those words, let me just see. Okay, I like it. Okay, so yeah, what you're at $1.2 billion right now. Right, this should have been the obvious sign, guys, that when ApeCoin, because everybody was trying to get me to buy ApeCoin back here last cycle, and I was like, don't buy it, no way. This should have been the obvious sign, okay? It came out in March. 1 month later, it was worth, well, come on now, let's get as high as you can go. What is that? It like gets there oh so briefly, come on. $4.1 billion. You came out, and a month later, you're worth $4.1 billion in market cap valuation. Where are you going from there? You're going to see $100 billion in your first cycle, and you just came out like literally at the end of this, like you're not, you know what I mean? Like, where are you going to go? If a coin just comes out, it's already worth $1 billion. You're not going to get any growth in it, right? There's vested interest in it. You can tell it wouldn't be worth $1 billion if not somebody or multiple somebodies have their fingers in this jar, they're in this cookie jar, right? They've got vested interests. But you shouldn't. It's already worth, like, you should only have vested interest in things that can grow. This thing already grew. You know what I mean? But I'm getting off track here, getting off topic. This video is definitely not an hour long. I started getting longer as we went to the end. It's because we're almost done. We've got one more after this. But Ape, yes, I think it's going to move up. I think Ape from here, we're at $1.67. Probably by the end of this year, by the end of this move, I wouldn't be surprised we're at $5.82 to $7.88. Yes, I know that sounds intense, but I genuinely mean that. I think that you'll see those kind of movements by the end of this year, by the end of January. Good job, Ape. Definitely it's gonna be crazy. If I'm wrong, maybe what you see is by the end of this year, you're only up here to 262. Going into January, you're correct, and then going into April, you're up here. Inevitably, you'll see these targets, but my timing could be off. So we'll know, right? If it's by the end of the year and you're only here in this area, then I'm probably wrong. If it's the end of the year and you're up in this area, or at least above these highs, then I'm probably going to be right. One way or another, I'll be right. Who cares? But this area will come to fruition. It's just, will it be by the end of January or the end of April, May? Time will tell. SAMO. Hold on, guys. Ape was at the request of 123. SAMO at the request of K Hearts. Guys, I'm in pain, man. SAMO. Samoyed, I don't know how to pronounce. I'm not gonna try. Samoyed coin. Okay. High to low. High to low. There we go. High. Come on now. There we go. Yeah, you look great. Moving up to 4.1 cents, 5.76 cents. You're at about a cent now, just under a cent. So a lot of growth to go. I think that is by the end of the year, by the end of January targets, right? By the end of this move, you are definitely consolidating, right? Look here, you got to the top. Boom, went down straight. Boom, went down straight. Boom, went down straight. Boom. Well, You kind of look like you're moving down straight, don't you? I was going to say you're consolidating, but let's see how it goes. If you can pull up from here instead of just continuing to move down, then you'll do something that's different, and different results can, or different, what word do I use? Different behaviors can promote different results, is what I'm trying to say. Weekly RSI looks good. Daily RSI, it actually looks relatively, it looks like it could go down more, but overall, I kind of like it, actually. I do. Okay, so I take it back. You probably do keep moving down. You probably do. I take it back. I bet you pull all the way back down to the 236. So you're going to go down to 0.006 to 0.007. You're at 0.0095 right now. You're going to go down there. If not, if I'm wrong, maybe you go down to like 0.008. You might hold that area maybe, but probably lower. And then in time, probably by the end of the year, I bet you break out of this. So you're probably by the end of the year, by the end of January, you're at like 2.3 cents is what I'm thinking. Maybe if you move fast enough, you could be all the way at 4.1 to 5.7 cents, but don't count on it. It could happen, but just, play it by ear. I think that probably the first 2 weeks of this month, you'll probably pull down to here, or maybe the first week and a half at least, and then you'll work the rest of the month to move up. Going into the end of January, you'll probably be up at this area. That's my thoughts. And then maybe April, we can talk about these prices. But yeah, that's it, guys. That's all I got. I was going to compare these. Let's compare the winners. So the 4 winners I have that I circled were VAI, AITECH, SGB, and Terra. Okay, 4 of them. So one of those 4 is probably going to do really well, right? No, they probably all do well, I think, in their respective ways over the coming weeks, over the coming days. So VAI, by the end of this year, by the end of this month, you're probably up here. 7x to 14x. It's a lot. That's a lot, bro. That is a lot. 7x to 14x. Let's see what AITECH can do. Right. Probably not that high. Was I saying that earlier? By the end of the year, I mean, you could. Let me just look at what I was looking at. Maybe I was looking at the daily to make more sense. Okay, the daily does look productive. That was the 4-hour, not the daily. The daily does look productive. Sorry, I got caught up. You're breaking out of it now. Okay, so yes. Okay. I'm on to what I was thinking earlier. Okay, I get it. That one's got more potential overall, but less potential in what I think the immediate term is going to be, so not a winner. It might not get this high. I might have been over presumptuous with this, but it could. The reason why I think things are going to pick up is you just broke out of this long phase accumulation. You'll probably move up here really quick, consolidate, and then toward the end of the year go up here. I could see it happening. So, but I don't think this would be the winner. Sorry. VAI, the one to beat. SGB with the 7x, right? That's the one to beat. Or was it a 9x? I can't remember. Come on, you. Yeah. I forget how high I was saying that this thing would be, but it's probably not all the way up here. If I was saying that, I don't know if I said that earlier, but if I was saying that it'll be up here by the end of January or February, or end of January or December, I was definitely on something. I would think more likely by the end of this month, by the end of January, you're anywhere from like 3 cents to 8 cents. Yeah, something like 75% to a 4.7x. That's not as impressive, but still a notable mention. Yeah. If I apologize, Flower Child, if I was talking about this, I do think these targets will happen. I have no doubts that these targets will happen, right? I just don't think they happen. Maybe by the end of April, maybe not by the end of this year, right? But yeah, definitely in a short amount of time, nonetheless. I just don't think. Yeah, I think by the end of April, you're probably near your all-time highs. Sorry, by the end of January, near all-time highs. By the end of April, you could be up here. So, not SGB. Terra is the last one. I think it's VAI. VAI is going to get the win on this one, guys. Right. Where we are now. I would expect your. Oh, dude, that's hard. That's really hard, guys. because I do think Terra is just going to be on a moon. But you probably okay. I think we have it. I think VAI, Daniel Bandini, you're the winner tonight. Taraxa, Bonham, very close second. And Flower Child, a very modest, honorable third place to you. Congratulations, everybody. That's all I got for you. If you like the video, hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you all. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.